Graphics wise, some people still believe that this is the best looking 2K game to come out, and look at the lighting, the colors, like everything just pops. It looks real. Though the player models have gotten better throughout the years, the one thing that holds the newer games back is how flat it looks. Like everything looks like it has like a matte finish to it. Like it looks realistic but dull at the same time. But like I said before, the player models have gotten way better overall. Like for example, if you look at 85, 86 Jordan, they got it spot on. But if you look at the 2K14 version, he looks crazy. You see what they did? They took the old Michael Jordan model and put a hairpiece on it. But I don't know why they couldn't just like get some more natural looking hair. Cause like this look like straight enhancements. He got the Carlos Boozer. And then there's some other player models which they could have did a little bit more with, you know, like Jeff Green. That's not Jeff Green, come on now. But then of course there are certain players where it's just spot on, like with Isaiah Thomas or Bron, D Wade, Lakers Shaq, which interestingly enough, for some reason in 2K15, they just use old Shaq. And when I say old Shaq, I mean like Shaq right now. They scanned Shaq right now and put him into the game. I don't know how the player model dropped off like this, but this is crazy. But even with some of the more questionable player models in the game, the thing that ties everything together is the lighting, the colors, the skin tones. The gameplay in this game feels very free flowing. Like there's not too many animations you can really get magnetized into on both offense and defense. For example, when you're driving towards somebody, it don't feel like you kind of slow down and get warped into like a little off-arm battle. Like animations do exist when you engage the defender and you bump into them or you're trying to get past them, but it's not too exaggerated, if that makes sense. Getting into more of the specific features they added, you can actually block dunks in this game. When you do block a shot, it goes flying. Like it's disrespectful how hard they be punching the ball. Like if you don't jump towards the defender, sometimes it's as if you're not contesting at all. Like you just can't hold up the right stick if you really want a good contest. And to balance this out, they don't really call as many shooting fouls, but the shooting in this game is it's something. This might be my biggest issue with the gameplay, and it's mainly that you can miss greens in this game. Like I've missed a lot of excellent releases, a lot of excellent releases. Like I get IRL, you know, you can shoot the ball, it can feel good, it can look good, but it can still miss. I get that. But like at the same time though, like if I'm wide open with Steph Curry and I get an excellent release, you know what I mean? Like I feel like it should go in. I've had shots miss even if they have an A grade for shot quality as well, which I'm not too sure how much that plays into the release. But like I said before, I missed them anyway, so I truly don't know. Yeah, there'll just be shooters in this game with really good shooting ratings, signature skills. I'm timing their release up and they just start bricking. Like one of the worst performances I've ever had in this game was using John Starks, and he has like a 94 open three. But at the same time, I feel like I've had really good shooting games with Gerald Green and Avery Bradley, even though they have lower 3-point ratings, little to no shooting signature skills. I don't know, maybe I'm tripping, maybe I just had some lucky stretches with those types of players. But this is undeniable though. You see this, right? That's excellent. That's wide open. Maybe it's because of the Hall of Fame difficulty that throws the shooting out of whack a little bit. But regardless, missable greens will always be outrageous. I'm sorry. But speaking of signature skills though, they make a return and they work the same way they did in 2K13. Unfortunately, they took away the descriptions in terms of actually telling you like the exact percentages of which each skill affects whatever attributes on the player. At least in the PS4 and Xbox One versions of the game. The PS3 and 360 versions still tell you everything though. They also added a couple new skills this time around, like pick and roll maestro, tenacious rebounder, and one man fast break, just to name a few. But the main one I want to highlight is the LeBron coast to coast badge that only LeBron can use. Now, judging by the description on the PS3 and 360 version, the badge basically boosts his handles, his speed, his quickness, and his finishing when he's starting a fast break. Which I gotta say, having an exclusive badge when you already a 99 overall is insane. Like what are we boosting at this point? But outside of this though, any player can now have up to 7 signature skills instead of the 5. So when you combine that with some of the new badges, players start to feel even more unique. I don't know about them shooting skills though. I don't know. That's just, hey, this is crazy. But the last thing I want to talk about is the new points of emphasis system. Now the system itself is really really straightforward and simple. You got a slot for offense, a slot for defense, and a flex slot, which pretty much just lets you pick an additional offensive or defensive option. So for example, if I match up against a certain team and I want to send a double team towards a certain player while limiting shots inside, I can just select key in on score for the defensive setting, and in the flex setting I can put nothing inside. Now for offense, like there's no point in really picking the pick and roll or get shooters open settings if you're just gonna set up your own half-court offense and call screens anyway. Regardless, most of the settings really do work, and I do find myself using them. This version of MyCareer marks the first time in the series where we really get like a whole story with cutscenes and voice acting and everything. But not only that, but the MyPlayer customization is a lot better as well. The faces look a little bit more unique. This is my MyPlayer. He's a random preset I found. I looked at him, I said, that's great value Kawhi right there. And then I proceeded to name him Kale Lettuce. In terms of builds, once again, you just kind of pick a general playstyle and call it a day. For example, I went with an athletic 6'7" point guard, but the other options are just stuff like scoring, pass first, stuff like that. As for the actual story of the mode, it's centered around your MyPlayer, his agent, and Jackson Ellis. The mode starts off with you practicing and whatnot. Your agent comes through, he tells you, hey, you got an invite to the rookie showcase. You go on your way there, you bump into Jackson Ellis, and then it's game time. And then from there, how good or bad you do will determine how high or low you get drafted, per usual. So after you complete the game, you do a little personality test, you do some interviews, then you get drafted. And throughout this entire process, you just get like small cutscenes of you and your agent kind of interacting with one another. And he's wearing Timbs with no socks. He is raw dogging a pair of Timbs. Can we fire him, please? Like, is this not crazy? But after getting drafted and whatnot, you actually don't play for 2 straight games. You get no playing time. They talking about you on social media. Your MyPlayer starts tweaking out. And it's not until the 3rd game where the starter gets an injury that you actually get a chance to play. I'm not gonna lie, it's not like a really big plot going on here. It's kind of more of like a day in the life with your MyPlayer, due to the fact that you just only kind of get a couple cutscenes of them interacting with the team, the GM, Jackson Ellis here and there. It's nothing too crazy. Interestingly enough, VC exists in this game offline. Usually it's only skill points. Unfortunately, you still can't buy no accessories offline, but the upgrades themselves don't cost a lot. So the grind to make a good player offline is actually kind of cool. But now that I've explained MyCareer for the most part, I need to explain what I'm going through, because I'm getting hoed. First of all, look at my MyPlayer. This is like the 3rd time my MyPlayer done got rookie hazed. But in terms of the actual team that I play on, I'm in a horrible situation. They got 2 other point guards. I made a point guard. They got me as shooting guard. The floor spacing is cooked. We got Paul Millsap at small forward. Why is Mike Scott standing at the 3-point line with a 53 ball? We ain't gotta talk about it. Last but not least, this was the first year the park was ever introduced as well. I ain't really play it, but from what I can tell, there's no affiliations, ain't no rep. You get a fit, you load up, you hoop. That's it. It's just pure ethical hoops. The biggest downside of this year's version of MyTeam was the fact that there was no player market or no auction house. The main way to get players was to rip packs, and every team had their own pack. So if you wanted LeBron, you have to rip Heat packs. If your luck sucked, you would just have to keep opening up Heat packs over and over and over until you finally get LeBron. I could have just bought them in 2K13. Like, I literally just could have bought them out the player market. But speaking of VC, not only does that currency exist in this mode, there's also MT now, aka MyTeam points. And really the main way to earn MyTeam points is by selling the same cards you get in packs, which you could buy packs with VC or MT. But if you were to sell the card at whatever 2K priced it at the moment, you would only receive MT back. And of course, you'll get some MT whenever you play a game online. Now, the biggest new feature they added this year were collections. The whole mode is based around it. It's the main thing you look at, just sitting idly in the menus. The more collections you complete, the more you build towards different rewards, stuff like that. Tournaments, which rewarded you with exclusive cards. Domination debuted this year too, and locker codes started to roll out this year, giving out free packs, MT, and limited edition cards like Dom and Kobe. So yeah, the jump in content going from 2K13 to 2K14, excellent. But not being able to buy players on your own is not excellent. Also, I can't forget to mention this, there was a duplication glitch. So you could just load up into a game and you going against 85, 86 Jordan, 90, 91 Jordan, 95, 96 Jordan, just all in a starting lineup. I don't remember how long people were running dupes like this, but they did patch it out, thankfully. NBA 2K14 is one of the most iconic entries in this series, if not the most iconic outside of 2K11. The game isn't perfect, but even in so many parts of this game still holds up to this day. But coming back and doing fantasy drafts and just playing the regular play now mode, excellent gaming. But the one thing that would make this better is if virtual Mike Budenholzer would stop torturing me with these rotations.